The function buttons are buttons that you like to have right at your fingertips. Let's go ahead and go through those. From the very first one, there is speed plus minus. So if you want to slow the machine down, you will find that you've got a couple different speed choices. So that can be reduced. Great for if you have a youngster sewing. Isn't that nice that it goes so much slower? You have a little bit more control over it. And then just go ahead and increase that all the way up when you're done. The selective thread cutter, when you touch that, that will cut the thread and lift the foot up, which is wonderful. The part where you have your needle stopping in the up position or down position, this is great. Most of the time, I like having it stop in the up position. But with a touch of the button, that needle will now always stop down. But you will notice that the foot raises about 1/8 of an inch. So it's in a pivot position, which is great for doing any type of corners or applique, or you're maybe putting in the next piece of fabric and that is up just enough to let you slide it in right to the needle. So that is really nice. Now, another way to change the needle up and down is to tap your foot control just a little bit. And we're talking by at the top of the foot control with your toe, and that will get you a 1/2 a stitch. And again, a 1/2 a stitch, which is nice though. This does not change this picture. It still leaves it so it always stops down. But if you need to have that needle up for any reason, you can bring it up. The stop button. Stop button is going to be used when you do decorative stitches, so it'll sew to the end of your pattern. Fix button, we'll go into that with a separate video, but that fix button is great. Those are locking stitches that happen at the begin or at the end of your line of stitching. Locking stitches that happen all in the same place. You also notice that the fix button is on whenever you start a seam after you've used the selective thread cutter. Next, you have the presser foot with the arrow pointing up. Right now, the foot is up at its normal up position, but when you push it again, watch what happens. It raises even higher. So if you have a really thick piece of fabric you're sliding in, get that all the way high enough. It'll make it a lot easier to slide underneath the presser foot. When you step on the foot control, it will come all the way down to the fabric and go ahead and leave that there. But if you ever need that foot up in the middle for any reason, that will actually do that button too. It will also raise it up and down when you're sewing. If you are up and you need the foot down, that will also do it right here. That's also really nice. You can control at any point whether the needle's up, whether the needle's down, or a foot up or down, high or low. Now, another thing that you can do, and go ahead and bring that up, is if you go ahead and lower down the presser foot and then touch that same button again, it comes up to a hover position. So let me show you a great place to use that. So many people want to start right on the edge of your fabric, but when the foot is up, you sometimes can't always see, am I going to be right where I need to be or right lined up? What you can do is just tap the presser foot down button 2 times. 1, 2. And then it's hoverable, so you can slide it right or left. The foot is practically right where it's going to sit down. So when you start to stitch, you're going to need to have it start exactly where you want. Now the start-stop button, this one here, I'm going to lower the speed down so it doesn't take off on me, because it literally is like having your foot control. When you start it, I am not pressing the foot control right now. I can start and stop that at any time just with my finger. You know, when you are stitching out a lot of decorative stitches, maybe you are taking time, which I highly recommend, to stitch out all the stitches that are in this machine. Just get your fabric lined up, put some stabilizer underneath, sit back, push your start-stop button, let that decorative stitch sew out a whole nice long row so you really have a good idea what it looks like. And then you're not having to sit there with your foot always on the foot control during that whole time. Let your fingers do the sewing. So that is wonderful. And then this is the reverse button. As you hold that in, you will be stitching backwards. If it's lit up, it will stitch back permanently. Some people go, oh my gosh, how did I get my machine sewing backwards? Well, they just went ahead and pushed that and then lit that up. So just touch it again, the machine will sew forward again. So these stitches and functions are great to have right at your fingertips. The more you use them, the more you get comfortable in using them for all the shortcuts that they are there for.